have always adored stories. Anime, manga, Western cartoons, Hollywood movies, and webtoons. Especially webtoons. I think my first introduction was a comic by Instant Miso called When Tangents Meet that I found pages on Pinterest, and I think I eventually ended up finding the link to webtoon for me to read in full through that. From the moment I found this app, I was completely obsessed. I started binging stories like I Love You and Siren's Lament, and I adored the Cursed Princess Club and Space Boy and Sub-Zero and Lore Olympus, but I promise it was really good at the time when it first started. I'll probably get on that another day. My school had a shortage of science teachers, so my class always ended up with supply teachers. They're basically like stand-in teachers meant to just oversee the kids and make sure they didn't set anyone else or themselves or things on fire. Well, they handed out plain paper to everyone, and they would tell us to make a poster about a cell. It was always posters for some reason. I don't know why. Oh my goodness. If you're like from a British school, I don't know if it's the same in American schools as well, with those supply teachers who come in, it's always like a poster or something simple just so they can oversee you. You'll relate. So why am I saying this? Well, what we also got in those lessons were the school's iPads. There were a bunch of websites blocked on them, like YouTube and Instagram, to make sure that students stayed on track. But what I quickly figured out was that webtoon was not blocked on these iPads. So in dull periods of the day where I had a 2-hour slot of sitting in a room of kids throwing gum at each other and messing with the supply teacher, my friend and I sat tucked in the corner with the school iPads, reading and giggling about webtoons together. Specifically Siren's Lament and which character we love the most. If you know, you know. And so began my obsession with the media. And also my failing silence. But listen, we're not here to talk about that. We're going to talk about comics, so this is my channel. So you might be wondering where I was going with all this. Well, to sum it up, I loved comics, and as soon as I was introduced to the vertical format of webtoons, I dreamed of making my own. And so Frame by Frame was born. Well, sort of. Reborn, but that's for another video. I posted the first episode of Frame by Frame on the 26th of January 2022. The comic was on and off, and I made it to episode 17 part 1, which was posted about a year later on the 17th of December 2023. And then I stopped posting entirely. So what happened? Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But I bet most of you watching right now may be wondering what my comic is. And I'm happy to tell you. It's my favourite thing to talk about. Let's go. Frame by Frame is a superhero romance comic filled with action and mystery. It starts with the main character, Clara, a deadpan photographer living in the centre of Queensgate City where superheroes reside. She just wants to keep her head down and not draw any unnecessary attention to herself. But when the most powerful supervillain in the city learns of her secret, he blackmails her into joining him. But what does he want her for? And what is her secret? Find out in Frame by Frame! So, just a quick disclaimer before I get started though. I'm literally just talking out of my own experience. Other people's experiences may be different to mine. They might have found Webtoon Canvas to be super successful to them, but honestly, I'm just sharing my own story. So please take this with a pinch of salt. This may not be your experience of the media, but this has been mine for the last 2 years that I have been uploading to it, and 2024 I was completely silent. So I'm really just sharing what I've been up to this year. Okay, now let's get started. Like any comic artist, I started out super excited. I posted the epilogue and then episode 1, then 2 and 3, and quickly my followers from Instagram began to jump over to Webtoon to check out the comic. I'd been drawing the characters for a while out of context, so most knew the characters already. That must have been a really helpful boost to the algorithm, because I was also quickly gaining readers just from the webtoon platform itself, just from the exposure I was getting. Within the first 2 to 3 months of Frame by Frame being live, it then made it to the Canvas spotlight on the front page of Webtoon a couple of times. It was quickly increasing in followers, and I felt so hopeful that maybe I could make a living from this. That was almost my dream after all. I began to research ad revenue and worked harder to get my comic to the point where I could sign it up for the program. And finally I reached it! About 8 months later, Frame by Frame finally hit over 40,000 views in 1 month, and having a high subscriber count of over 1,000, which was honestly easy to hit because I think by this time I had about 12,000 followers. I finally signed it up to the second it was eligible. After signing up and continuing to make episodes, I began to slow as I watched the money very slowly begin to rise. Very slowly. I learnt the cold truth that unless my comic was scouted by Webtoon Originals, Canvas was no career option. I kind of knew this anyway, but I found it so difficult to find any information online to really cement this idea. I always tried to look for videos online of other comic artists trying to see what their income was like, but it was hard to find those numbers anywhere until I really found them out for myself. $100 every other month sounds great, right? Well, I have a few points. If you can't tell from my voice already, I'm from England and I use the Great British Pound. Since Webtoon was only giving out money in dollars, the exchange rate worked out that I'd receive about £75. Yeah, the exchange rate really works in my favour for buying American things, but when it comes to earning, ouch. This is also why I make sure that when I do commissions, I always invoice in GBP and not US dollars. My second point is the amount of work put in versus the payoff. Like, sure, I'll take it, but for the amount of work I was putting into sketching, lining, inking, colouring, and shading 30 plus pictures every 2 weeks, while also maintaining my influx of commissions I had all the time, well, it was a lot. And at this point in my life, my art was my income. I had left my waitressing job at a cafe that I took after college to focus on my commissions, which was making me just as much money every month. As more things came up in my life that I needed to pay for, I was forced to sideline my comic and focus on what made me money. And that was commissions, a flow of which I always had coming in through my Instagram. I also had a Patreon, but honestly, I only had about £7 a month coming in, not even 10, and as much as I tried to persuade my followers to come and support me on the Patreon, I just couldn't rank up any significant amount to keep me going. In 2023, I began also doing Artist Alley at conventions. As I started doing conventions in 2023, that was what really mostly forced me to put the comic down, as I realised the big money-making opportunity in them. And as my experience grew, I was working harder with each con, creating more art and products that I can sell at the next. Another thing that I've begun this year, and this year in particular, 2024, is an entirely separate live illustrating business that I offer for events local to my area. Weddings being my main focus right now, but I do other events such as anniversaries and baby showers. And so, my comic sat in the shadows, untouched, while I focused on building up my income as an artist, where I was sure I was going to find it. So, what is the point of all this that I'm talking about? Like, what is it, Kuka? What is the big secret behind webtoons that you want to spill so bad? While I truly believe it's a massive shame that such creative work isn't more rewarded, I'm here to tell you that a freelance indie comic just isn't going to make you a living. And trust me, as much as I wish that it was the case, I truly love drawing my comic. I just realised that I needed to arrange how to make more sustainable income first. And I'm in no way saying it's impossible to make money as an artist or that a career in art isn't worth it. I believe the total opposite. I'm just saying you will not make money from your indie comic alone with ad revenue or Patreon. Unless you have an incredibly big and loyal audience of readers ready to throw their money at your Patreon and skyrocket your page views, you may end up in a similar situation to me, where you're forced to make your passion project secondary. The last time I posted an episode was about 9 months ago. I still plan on getting back to it, hopefully in the new year of 2025, but we'll see. If you are a new comic creator watching this, or you plan to start posting your comics soon, or maybe you're already in the middle of your project, I don't want this video to destroy your motivation. Rather, it just made me realise how much you need to love your comic in order to continue with it. You need to be drawing it not for monetary gain or even social media likes, but for you. If you are someone in a position right now who can give time to drawing your comic and posting at your chosen schedule, keep going, I'm rooting for you. I'm on your side and I'm excited for you. Make the most of what you have now. Life changes, circumstances change, so live in the moment. Enjoy the journey making your comic brings you. Be excited about your characters and keep going to get to those juicy parts of the plot that you can't wait to draw. I know I have so many in mind that I just keep thinking about. Oh, I can't wait to get back to it. In time though. If you are new here, hi! I go by Kuka Puddin online. You can call me Kuka, and this is my first proper YouTube video. In the quality that I want. I have a bunch of other videos on this channel, but none of them are in the quality that I'd like. I have a few other talking videos and mostly speed paints, but this is my first kind of the type of video that I've always wanted to make. I just got a new iPad and my old one died on me, but this one has so much better storage and works so much faster. I can now finally make the YouTube videos that I've wanted to do for the longest time. I love watching this type of thing in the background while I'm drawing, and I've wanted to try these types of things for myself. Let me know what you think though. I'm still getting used to talking at a microphone and listening to my own voice and editing it back. I'm like, I can't stop cringing at it, but hopefully I can get used to it. But gotta push past the cringe to make YouTube videos. I'm determined. Time to talk about what I'm drawing behind me though. This is a commission I got from a lovely bookish account on Instagram who paid me to draw a scene from a book they like. I had so much fun with this. The expressions, the snow, and the character designs, oh my goodness, I'm obsessed. I'm tempted to buy a copy myself just to read more about these characters. And I figured, since I'm talking about comics in this video, why not show the comic commission I just did? If you like my art and want to commission me too, check out my Instagram. All my commissions information is in the link on my bio there, and I'll also link it down below for you here. I'm feeling really excited about this YouTube account. I have so many ideas. I love YouTube because I feel like I can really connect with the artists I follow as I hear them talk through their workflow. And I thought it'd be a better way to connect with my own followers as well. Let me know in the comments though if there are any videos you'd like to see from me. I know I have a Comic Con vlog coming up, and as I'll be in MCM in October, but I'd like to get a few more videos like this out before then first. It means a lot to me that you stuck around this long through my yapping. Include a cherry blossom emoji in the comments if you made it this far, and tell me what your favourite webtoon genre is. I'll start. Superheroes. Surprised? No? Okay, I'll shush now. Well, I think that's enough of me talking. Anyway, here is the final result of the commission. Ooh, up on the screen. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you again, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!